English Grammar, Lesson 28. Topic: Embedded Questions. Part 2. Have you seen Part 1? If so, then you're ready to go on. What I ordered online for my children was the topic of Part 1. Do you remember what I ordered and put together? It was a seesaw. Now you've just heard me use examples of embedded questions. Let's review what they are. An embedded question is a type of noun clause. A clause is a group of words with a subject and verb. Because embedded questions behave like nouns, we use them like nouns, which means they have different roles in a sentence. We can use an embedded question as the subject. We can use an embedded question as the object of a verb. There are other uses. Let me show you some of them. We can also use an embedded question as an indirect object, the object of a preposition. For example, were you curious about what Jennifer ordered for her children? Here, the embedded question, highlighted in purple, is the object of about, a preposition. Now I'd like you to try to use an embedded question as an indirect object. Complete the statement with embedded questions. Use the 3 real questions listed. Shipping costs depend on what? Shipping costs depend on how heavy the package is, where you want to ship it, and how fast you want it delivered. Let's talk about another use. We can use an embedded question as a complement. Do you know what a complement is? A complement is a word, phrase, or clause that explains or defines another unit in the sentence. A subject complement, for example, explains or defines the subject, as in, my main concern was whether or not I could put it together. When we use subject complements, the structure is subject plus linking verb, like a form of be, and then the complement, in this case, an embedded question. My main concern was whether or not I could put it together. The embedded question explains the subject. An embedded question can also be a complement in a noun phrase, and then it immediately follows the noun that it explains or defines. First example, do you have any idea who ordered this? Who ordered this is the embedded question. It's a complement and it explains idea. Second example, there's no question whether they liked it or not. Whether they liked it or not is the embedded question, and it's a complement to the word question. It defines or explains it. And lastly, we can use an embedded question as an adjective complement. So it immediately follows an adjective to explain it or define it or somehow limit the quality. For example, it's surprising how much shipping costs are. The embedded question helps to explain the quality, surprising. I think some other common adjectives that would be followed by an embedded question are surprised, amazing, amazed. There are others. All right, now it's your turn. I'd like you to complete the statement in bold with an embedded question, and that embedded question will be a subject complement. Use the real question listed below. the statement. This is what the kids wanted. Now let's try using an embedded question as a complement in a noun phrase. Again, use this real question to complete the statement with an embedded question. Do you have any idea how long it's going to take? Let's try one more complement in a noun phrase. Use the real question and complete the statement in bold. It was a mystery how she managed to do it all. And lastly, an adjective complement. Use the real question to complete the statement in bold. You need to be careful what you say around your kids. Are you ready to go on now? There's a special kind of embedded question that makes use of infinitives. Let me give you an example. This package, it's actually not for me, it's for my husband. It's a surprise. Let me think, where should I put it? Do you know where to hide it? Do you know where to hide it? Use of the infinitive, to hide, has the meaning of should or could. Where should I hide it? Where could I hide it? Do you know where to hide it? Where's a good place? So where to hide is an embedded question, and I used it as the object of a verb. Do you know where to hide it? Let's practice more of these embedded questions with infinitives. Let's look at these two examples. At first, I wasn't sure how to put all the pieces together. How could we rewrite the embedded question to include a pronoun as the subject of the clause? We could say, at first, I wasn't sure how I could put all the pieces together. How I could put, how to put mean the same thing. Both are correct. Use of the infinitive is probably more conversational. Look at the second example. I considered whether to start or wait for my husband. Again, we could rewrite this and say I considered whether I should start or wait for my husband. Both versions are correct. They mean the same thing, but use of the infinitive is more conversational. Now it's your turn to form an embedded question using an infinitive. Can you complete the statement? Use the real question listed below. We can say, do you know how to ride a seesaw? Let's try an exercise. Exercise 2. Correct the mistakes and then answer the questions. This exercise will review what you've learned in parts 1 and 2. 1. Read the statement and find the mistake or mistakes, then correct them. The correct statement: I'd like to know if you shop online. This is not a real question. We do not need the question mark. Use a period. Also, we could use whether. I'd like to know whether you shop online or not. 2. The correct statements: How do you select gifts for people? Does your choice depend on how much things cost? This is a real question, but the embedded question needs statement word order. How much things cost. 3. The correct statement. Can you tell me how quickly packages are delivered in your country? Again, we have a question, but the embedded question needs statement word order. 4. The correct statement. I'm not sure I would purchase something from a seller outside my own country. Would you? Again, it was a mistake with word order. 5. This one's a little tricky. The correct statement and more natural sounding question is, do you know where to find used books and DVDs online? If you're going to use an infinitive to form an embedded question, the infinitive follows the question word, and then the meaning of could or should is understood. Do you know where to find? 6. The correct statement? When it comes to receiving gifts, what matters most is not what someone gives you, but that the person was thinking of you. Do you agree or disagree? If you haven't already, go back and answer the 6 correctly worded questions. I consulted these sources as I put this lesson together. I think you'll find them helpful too. Additional practice for this lesson is available at EnglishCafe.com. Follow the direct link listed in the video description. Well, that's all for this lesson. Thanks for watching and happy studies!